All right, so we're here to talk about the famous Dana Dolly. Now the Dana Dolly is a unique class of sliders or dollies, and what's cool about them is they can actually travel more distance than a slider. Sliders typically 3 feet to maybe 2 feet, anywhere between there. Once you get past 3 feet, there are some 4-foot sliders, but what are you gonna do? The Dana Dollies is a class usually called trolley dollies because, and I'll demonstrate that when we get there. So what you're gonna need the Dana Dolly is packed up all in this case. It says the Dana Dolly right here. And you will need a standard Benro tripod head. You could use a bigger head if we have one at this time, but that's the one we have. And you need 2 of these slider legs, and there'll be probably a couple of those or more in the inventory, so make sure you bring those. Next, you will need a pair of speed rails. It's called speed rail because it's an aluminum pipe, and it's quite light actually. We use this in the film industry all the time, and it comes in all different sizes. It can be cut to size. Now the interesting thing about it, we have here the 4-foot and we have the 6-foot. I may have a pair of 8-foot rails by the time that you're here. Now we're gonna set up the 4-foots, so we're gonna take these 6-footers and take them off the screen. And the cool thing about this is we can kind of customize it depending on the size of the Dana Dolly and how we want to set it up. So I'm gonna move everything out of the way here. And again, just like we talked about before, clear your space so you can work. I'm gonna kind of clear it off because I'm gonna walk you through here. I'm gonna walk you through the Dana Dolly case. Okay, so here we are. This is the Dana Dolly. So we're going to open it up. And in here, it's the rental kit from B&H, so it's all laid out. So we're gonna take the trolley out. Now it's really important not to scratch the wheels. They're machined within 1,000th of a millimeter, so even the most subtle scratches can damage them. They're really soft plastic. So even when we set them down, we'll set that down even face up. A couple other items on here. We have a skateboard tool, we'll explain in a bit. But the main thing we're concerned with is these track braces. Now, if you notice the bolts that are in here, I don't know if you can see that. Well, there's bolts in here, and they need to lay flat because if they're laying up, like maybe I can tilt this. If you see these bolts in here, if these bolts are laid up, they can scratch the wheels and damage them. Make sure that they're in this position and they're laid down like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these out of here, and these shackles are where we're gonna put the pipes in. Now, there's a couple other items in here. There should be a wrench. We're going to use that. There is the monitor arm where we can place a monitor on the trolley if you need to use that. You will later use this big washer. Don't lose that. And this is a center track holder. If you have a really long track, say a 10-foot track or something, and it sags in the middle with a heavy camera, you could put that on a stand and support the center. Over here, the bowl mounts. These bowl mounts, this is a 75. Actually, this is a 75. This is 100, and this is 150. These correspond to the size of tripod heads bowls that you place inside them. So we're going to use this one coming up. But make sure you put them back in their slots. I'm going to close this up and wheel it out of the way for now. We latch it up because catching one of those in the ankle is not a fun experience. I've had that happen. Okay, we're gonna take these shackles out, open them up like this, place them like this. Then I'm going to get my pieces of speed rail. I'm gonna measure them out. Now I want the maximum amount of travel. I got 4-foot rails here. That's not a lot. I wanna maybe put like, ½ an inch on the end sticking out for safety. I'm gonna lay it on here. Now, most videos that you see online, they actually do this wrong. It's way, way easier to set this up on the ground and close this up and then see the washer. Way easier to set this up on the ground than it is to set this up in the air. So set this up, get it thumb tight as you can. They're gonna tighten it down with a wrench. I'm gonna close these shackles. Then I'm gonna make sure I get that washer on top. The washer is really important to get here on top. the washer protects these shackles. So I'm going to tie those down, and then I'm going to use the wrench here. I don't know if you can get tight on this and you can see it. You want to make sure that these shackles are closed and the washer's on top, and I'm going to use this wrench to tighten this. Now a bigger wrench will be better. Wait, tighten that till it's real snug and tight. You have a wrench, so that's what it's for. Make sure it's roughly the same amount distance sticking out, and I'm going to tighten these. Now, I can set that aside. I can keep my wrench on me, just make sure you put it back in the case. Then I'm going to set up the stands. Stands are important because stands are what you're going to put these on. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to pull my stands out of here, set my side. Now, this is like a typical lighting stand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this top lock, and I'm going to spread the legs open and lock them. I want a right triangle between here, always right triangle. This is called the Rocky Mountain leg, and when you loosen that, that allows you to level it out, so on uneven terrain. So I'm going to lock that, and I'm going to set that one aside. Then I'm going to zip up my legs here. I'm going to go and get the other one. I'm going to set that one up. Same exact thing. Now I'm going to set that aside. And again, I'm going to open this, spread these apart, look for the right triangle, right-hand triangle, and lock it down. Ahead of time, I want to put two legs, opposing legs, facing out. Single legs facing in. Why? Because that's going to create the widest purchase to put the track in. I'm going to get my assistant here to jump in. And what we're going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. Now typically I would put this back in the case. Don't lose it or scratch it. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to back off this nut that's on the stand, and I'm going to not put my fingers in danger. I'm going to lengthen it out, and we're going to try to slide that in there and drop it in. If we do it right, are you in? Okay. Nope, it's not in. There you go. That's what you want to be careful about. Then you tie the top rail down. Make your adjustments with your legs. Line those up. Tie down all your rods. We are not even there for a second. It's not even. That's another thing about this is like getting it even is its own challenge. There we go. We check the evenness of it. Now also, there should be a level there. I have another level. We can actually put a level on here and we can level it out. I do not have my level with me, but I would actually put my level here and check the level. And so I might need to go up and adjust these. I'm going to go get my trolley. I'm going to place that on there and adjust my wheels so they fit. Oh, it's this way. So I'm going to make my... Now it should just plop right on there, smooth as butter. If it's wobbling, I'm going to show you how to adjust that. I'm going to go back into my case and open that up. And I'm going to get out my 75 millimeter bowl. I'm going to get out my nut, and I'm going to drop in my tripod head. My assistant's going to get my tripod head off of the Benro tripod. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this nut, and you're going to put it underneath. You can use a tie rod to tie the head down to the trolley. Now look, while she's getting the head set up, I'm going to adjust. Now if this is kind of, You want to make sure all the wheels are spinning. Like right here, you can see that wheel's not gripping. Those are, you don't want to get in a situation where they're not gripping. So that means that all the wheels aren't, that's where the skateboard tool comes in. The skateboard tool you can use to kind of make adjustments and kind of, see now it's catching. We can check. You kind of want all the wheels to be in the game because what it'll do is when the weight of the tripod goes on there, it'll just make for it'll distribute the weight nice and evenly and really help you get a nice smooth. That's what the skateboard tool's for. So we put that back. Because these are skateboard wheels. Okay, and you grab the pan bar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the tripod head in like this. I'm gonna go up here, underneath here with this washer. It's really a washer. I'm gonna use the tie rod and I'm going to tie this down. Then I'm going to use my bubble level right here. I'm going to sight that in. I'm going to tie it down. And then I'm going to get my pan bar and my camera. And then I can unlock. I will set my dials on here, 313, because that's the camera we're using. I'm going to unlock my pan and tilt and be able to mount my camera. Got it. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to unlock my camera here. And I'm ready to rock and roll. Now I'm going to check my balance on my camera, make my balance adjustments. And now I'm ready to, and relative to the shot that I'm doing over here with you guys in the audience, now I'm doing a truck right. I'm going to demonstrate a truck left. And if Ash is my assistant, if I wanted to do a dolly shot on Ash, I would set this off, and I would dolly into Ash, and I would dolly out from Ash. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. If it is level, then it won't drift. It's slightly unlevel right now, so I would have to level that out before I put the trolley on. Other things, this doesn't have a brake. So if we get some of the orange clips there, some cool things we can do with these come in handy in a pinch. You know, if you're, for extended time, you're not gonna move it, you could use these and you could pinch it off. Don't smash the wheels. That way it just doesn't drift off. We center it up just like all the other dollies, okay? And that is the Dana Dolly setup. Now, if we're ever gonna go up to height, we want to probably do eye height. If we were gonna do eye height before we even put this on here, we would have already set up our eye height. But let's say that we wanted to adjust it and get it higher. Well, you need a couple people probably. What I would do is I would take the camera off here. I would have somebody, I'd put this back in its case. Got it?
Got it.
Then what's cool is you can just take the trolley off there. Now when you're operating the trolley, it's super important to realize that we can actually operate the trolley, meaning that we should probably push the trolley from the base right here, and then we can operate the pan tilt head. All right? Now some really cool things. If we wanted to go up to height, we would take this off of here. Notice that there's the tie rod sticking out. And we would need two assistants to come in and kind of adjust the height of it. So we'll have two assistants come in. Now you could do this yourself. You probably have to take the head off of here. You might need to set it. The best place to set this is back in the case. And then we would need to raise this up. We would make sure the top stage is locked down. We'd probably unlock the next stage. Okay, then we'd kind of raise it up. Now we would need a level because we'd have no way to tell. Now lock it off. We would check that with a level, but as we start, you just lifted it up a little bit, I think. Okay, lock it. Now, it will check and make sure it's level. But as you notice, as you start to raise it up, you're going to need a more solid base. So we'd get some big sandbags and we would bag the base of it. We want to bag the base. The further we get up higher, the more we want to do that. Now let's say we were done. We wanted to strike this. So say that I had this, I would go back on here, I would have my. Now the great thing about the Dana Dolly is you can put it on any type of pipe. It's one of the director of photography's favorite dollies. It's small, it's mobile. You could take the case on a flight and you could just arrive at the location. You could buy a ladder, some pipe, and you could build this with just standard pipe. Steel pipe will work. Just be aware if you're traveling, aluminum pipe is not a common item. You can't find aluminum pipe at Home Depot. You have to go to film supply places. It's a specialized type of pipe only used. You have to go to an industrial supply place. Okay, so if I was going to do this, I'm going to take my head out of here. I'm going to be careful with that nut, that pin. Remember the washer, the big washer? That's going to fall out of there. I'm going to grab that, and then Ash is going to take this, and put that away. I'm going to take this, put it back in the case in its specific slot. Then, very important, I'm going to get these delicate wheels out of here. Drop it in the case. Then, it helps when you have a second person, but if you're careful and you loosen these nuts all the way, don't loosen them so much they fall on the ground and lose them, but you can withdraw it out of here. You can take it upside down, take your clamps off there. Then I'm going to put my stands away. Stands are pretty straightforward. When you go to collapse stands, I'm going to take them, I'm going to collapse them. Always have all the knobs facing the same direction. It's really going to help you. I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to collapse this up. Then I'm going to collapse these this way. It doesn't take too much time to strike this. It just takes a lot of paying attention to the details. I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to collapse this up. Then I'm going to take this. I'm going to zip it up in here. These are special bags that came from the manufacturer for these particular stands. You could put them in any bag, but the nice thing is they have some reinforcement with the buckles here. It helps quite a bit. Then I'm going to put this stand away. Now these are heavy duty stands. Heavy is good because we want a heavy base, not a heavy top when it comes to the item that they're putting away. Make sure you secure your Velcro. All right, set those aside. Next, I'm going to get here. I have my wrench here. Now I have to reverse order. I'm going to and it's a lot of work. Typically a grip would be doing this on a film set. If you guys are into the film industry, you can be a grip. You can pay good money to set up equipment like this. But if you're an owner-operator, you're going to be setting it up yourself. Okay, so we will take these shackles off, lay them flat. Drop those out, open them up, pull our pipe out here. Same thing on this side. Lay it flat, open it up. Lay it flat, open it up. Retract our pipe out of there. Set that aside. Take our shackles, really important, close them down. Okay. Then exactly like this is how they need to go in the case. If they're pinched up like this, they'll catch the wheels. Make sure you don't throw your wrench away. And I'll get the case and we will wheel it over here. So wheel it over here so the camera can see it. And I would take my trolley out of here. I would drop in my tracks, and you'll notice that they kind of pinch up. Make sure you lay down, because these will pinch up, so you want to lay them down. You don't want to catch the wheels. That will make you not pass your skills test on that. Because if you damage these blue wheels, that's pretty much game over and they have to be replaced. And they're not just regular wheels you can order. I'm going to drop this in there. I'm going to latch it up. And that is all of the gear that you need for the Dana Dolly. And you would put all the gear back where it's stored. Any questions? Come and ask Mr. Furtado.